Spider Oracle channel. I hope you've all been doing wonderful. This pick-a-pile reading is for the Libra new moon that we are about to have here in just a couple of days by the time I post this reading for you. Or maybe it is the new moon. I've been quite busy for the past few weeks. Ooh, there goes my dog going off. I'm doing this recording later in the evening because it's probably the only time I have. So let's get started. So today's a pick-a-pile. We have pile 1, we have pile 2, and we have pile 3. And we're using the Steampunk Tarot today. And then I've got a couple of oracle cards in here. And with Libra being the season, everything is about the balance in between, okay? So just choose whichever pile you resonate with, 1, 2, or 3. All the timestamps are below. Like, share, comment, subscribe, or donate as you see fit. And I'll see you in a moment. Thanks. Hello, pile 1. Thank you for tuning in and stopping by. Let's get started with your pile. So I brought out the Steampunk Tarot because we're getting into spooky season, and I just like the kind of darker themed artwork. I guess it's not really dark. It's just kind of goth in a way, right? Steampunk. But so I've got a goddess card and I've got an animal spirit, which actually this was supposed to be the like more masculine energy represented here, but you do have these two feminine figures here. And we have the high priestess and we have the swan represented, swan energy. So let's get started. High priestess card. The priestess is the direct representative of a goddess on earth. She has direct responsibility for functions that ensure fertility and ongoing creation. Priestesses often were responsible for ensuring rain, for the goddess was the giver of dew and of rain. They often tended to a sacred flame, the embodiment of the creative spark of life. Hey, I brought a candle in here today. The high priestess is the great goddess herself, a universal figure found in such diverse guises as Isis in Egypt, Kuan Yin throughout all of Asia, Athena in Greece, and Rhiannon among the Celts, or Celts. This goddess is all-knowing and all-wise. She creates life out of herself and bestows life-giving waters. At the proper time, she takes life away so that the divine spark in each person may be free to continue on its journey. The high priestess is a reminder of the innate wisdom in each of us. She demands that we connect to the divine spark within and manifest it into the world. This card's very much about recognizing that you are an embodiment of that very goddess energy that you are usually tending to or trying to channel or you're praying to, right? So it's just a reminder that, you know, your vessel is what channels that energy. And so very much an empowerment card for you. It's really bringing my attention though. There's like some eyes back here in the back of her head. From a distance though, it looked like skulls. It looked like little skulls in the back of her head. And that's where it was really pointing out the line about how the priestess will also take away life so that she can, you know, keep fulfilling her duties. So it's definitely not about just being a peaceful, benevolent, chill, never gonna harm anything. It just gave me the phrase, I've actually seen this a lot lately. It's the phrase, do no harm, but take no shit. That's pretty much what this card is bringing right now. And then you got the swan energy over here, which I already know how this one is. It's a symbol of transformation, loss of innocence, and beauty. This painting of a swan maiden represents a common motif found in the mythologies and folk tales of many cultures around the globe, from Native American to Slavic. Although the story varies from place to place, the basic plot is the same. A young man finds the feathered robe or skin of a swan maiden, a goddess-like creature, which she has temporarily shed to assume a human form. Although the youth attempts to hide the feathers from the maiden, which would allow him to possess her, the swan finds its feathers, assumes its animal form, and leaves the youth. The lost swan thus symbolizes the departure of youthful innocence and the passage to maturity. In some versions of the story, the swan dies. In Greek mythology, the swan song is the beautiful song sung by the swan just before death. So, okay, interesting. It just gave me this weird connection, so just follow me here. Led Zeppelin, they ended up making their own record company to get started, and the name of their record company is Swan Song, and that's where it was saying the word record. There's a and it's showing me this circle that's like, it's talking about the growth from innocence to maturity, how like symbolically that dies. It's honestly talking about the Akashic record, I feel like, and I think it's talking about the broken record cycle of essentially that type of symbolic death or symbolic transformation of kind of like Swan Lake, right? Like she dies and everything. That's the only way she can achieve her happiness type deal. It's very much about like sacrificing yourself. Sacrificing yourself is the energy coming off of this. And it's talking about the Akashic record, and it keeps saying record, and it's bringing me that because it's like when the needle skips, right? It just keeps repeating itself. So it just said, like, you keep repeating yourself. Are you not necessarily a broken record? Are you a skipping record? You keep staying on the same time loop, same pattern loop, right? There's something in your Akashic records. This isn't just possibly like this lifetime. Here's this high priestess talking, right? She's literally got the scroll. She got the records in her hand. Okay, now I'm getting it. These two halves of yourself, possibly, especially if we have two feminines here in the way they're facing each other, or two figures facing each other and talking about things and being like, this situation's a broken record. We have the records, we have the patterns, but I feel like it's not just something from this life. Like it could be something that's definitely, you know, deeper level than that. If it's coming through the Akashic records and you're awakening in this lifetime to it and breaking through that cycle, then that's the whole thing, is you might be becoming aware of these patterns of this cycle at this time. You got 3 cards here. So it wants to do something specific. So it was talking about moving in towards the center here. So that's what we're going to do. Make sure everything's recording. Yeah. All right. What's this first card? And this is about the new moon as well, right? So you're facing some kind of inner struggle, balancing act thing. It has very much to do with patterns coming through the Akashic records. It could be something from past lives then that is just on repeat, right? So, oh, and especially in Mercury retrograde, like y'all. Here we go. Let me sit with it. So it's the Magician. Okay. What just came off of this card is interesting. It said, come stand beneath me. And then it like corrected itself and it said beside me. And then that's where it kind of like I myself kind of started going, and it was making the point that, like, if you're a magician's assistant or somebody's assistant, right? Something like that. And they like summon you to come over here and like help them perform this magic act, for instance, that you're supposed to do what the magician tells you to do, because he's supposed to be the one running the show, right? So like if you're the magician's assistant, you do what the magician tells you to do. But that's where there was some resistance there, because I was like, what do you mean stand beneath you? Right? Like, I'm sorry, what did you, huh? So that's where there's something here about that, and that's where it's actually giving me the more negative connotation of the Magician card, which is that they can be a con man. They can make you feel like you're going to be the star of the show, but it's really more of their opportunity to become the star of the show. They do want you to stand beneath them, to support them so that they can climb higher. It's kind of giving me Littlefinger vibes from like Game of Thrones and stuff like that. Or just right, someone kind of sneaky. And it's not that, like, this card can be really positive. In fact, the Magician is the masculine equal to the High Priestess energy in a traditional tarot deck, right? So that's where he's more about will and action and manifestation, where the Priestess is more about divination, prophecy, healing, learning, studying the secrets, right? Things like that. So it is kind of indicating that there is this equivalent energy. It's equivalent in power, but it sounds like this energy might be kind of slipping up and possibly indicating that it's not really seeing this priestess energy as an equal. Instead, it's like, it said, like, come stand beneath me. And that's where it's like, he's either about to do a magic trick where it's like the whole cut you in half type thing and you're going to lay down on the floor or something, which, okay, there we go. It's starting to say how this pentacle right here kind of reminds you of like movie scenes where they're making out like a satanic ritual, right? It's like a sacrifice thing. I was talking about sacrifice. There's something up with this magician. It's not straightforward. They are strong and they are willful and they are powerful, but there's very much like this whole sacrifice theme here. And this is either the energy that you're picking up off of this magician and thinking to yourself, like there's something sneaky about this right here. Like, I don't know about this. Or they're legit being like that, right? So let's continue. What's over here? Notice too, it's almost like the shadow and kind of like the light. Like there's, because I was just noticing how she's in like the darkness and then she's got more of the white. So there's some of that too here. And look at that bird pairing up over here. This very much was just saying like, you're fine. It said that both as like a self-affirmation, like you're fine, girl. Like you got your stuff together, right? This is a 9 of Pentacles. Look at you being very strong and independent on your own, very wealthy and rich and wise because of past choices that have already gotten you very far. You got enough leisure and luxury time to do things like take care of this falcon and walk around your garden and everything, right? So there is part of you reflecting on your own independence, which I'm saying is very much comes through on this swan energy here. In many, many decks and many interpretations as I've seen it, they're always a more solo energy because they either are like the swan princess theme or, you know, etc. This is definitely more like she's got her human skin and access to her bird form. Independent and free and very successful at being in this energy. So there's like a point being made too about like, well, you might have your stuff, but like I'm doing quite well for myself and I'm in control of my own little thing, my own little garden, my own little tricks. It kind of gave it to me as like there's like a maze back here, or it's kind of like Mary Poppins. It's kind of like a riddle. Like she's got a lesson for you up her sleeve too. It's not just this hawk. That's part of what it's saying here too. Is like she's got a lesson for you, and that's why everyone's kind of pausing and kind of being like, Plus it's Mercury retrograde, like I said. So part of this kind of energy moving in like this is like, hold up, wait a minute, I'm catching these vibes and I'm like really not down with that. And this one's like, yeah, because by the way, we're doing pretty good on ourselves over here. But if you do in fact want to meet in the middle on this, there's a lesson here for you. And it just said like it's a good lesson, like almost like a Mary Poppins motherly energy lesson. Like that's what I mean. There's something up her little hawk sleeve. What is here in the center? Eight of Swords. Something really weird came through here. Some really weird energy came through here and said, the truth be lies. It's given it to me in two ways. It's given me in the sense of the truth be lies, as in almost like a twisted truth or a twisted lie. Half truths, half lies type deal. And then the other one was like the truth be lies, like lying down, almost like below. And then it brought me back to his sword. I'm pointing at the floor. There's something here about the floor. Hang on. Yeah, let me sit with that. Hang on. There's like a personal message kind of coming through, but let me interpret it first. Hang on. Okay. Okay. It was saying the truth be lies. Right now it wants me to start on the whole floor symbolism. He's pointing to this pentacle on the floor. Now when it's an upside down pentagram, then that's where you get like the whole like Satanist thing and everything, right? And that's where people get all freaked out and misinterpret stuff and everything, when this is a star of Venus, and it's very much meant for protection and representation of the 5 elements of earth and spirit and fire and water and air, right? So that's where now this energy shifted again and was like, you know, if you just kind of like pause and look down and think for a second and see what I'm trying to show you. Like, I'm not trying to trick you. I'm trying to protect you, is what it just said. Woo. That's what it just says, that I'm trying to protect you, right? Your priestess energy feels like it could be picking up on something, though. And it's just kind of questioning. That very much lends to this 8 of Swords energy. This could also very much just do with like general anxieties. The path is kind of difficult and blocked. It just said like kind of like you don't believe me type deal. Like there's a whole this energy over here. But that's where coming back to this, it was saying like the truth be lies. So it's mentioning how there's like a half truth, just like how she's half tied up. It's like there's a half truth. Something's not completely what it looks like. Someone's not completely frozen or helpless or completely trapped in thought. But maybe to them, they feel like that. So that's part of it too. It's like, this could be a little out of one of these. It feels like this could be 2 people. If not, this is definitely 2 halves of yourself, right? So it's like this person right here, their hands are tied and they are blindfolded, but their mouth is open and their feet can move. So that's where it's like, it's not a lie that they're in a tight spot and they're a little limited. And by the way, there's sharp swords all around my head and I kind of just don't want to move right now or do anything. And that's where it's like, it is true that this energy is not shifting or moving. And with the blindfold on too, it's very much tapping into the justice message that comes with Libra season, with the scales and everything, right? Like blind justice. That's the other part of it too. It's like, well, I'm also kind of like waiting to see how these swords fall. Swords are thoughts and communication. So it's like, okay, look, I'm just like, right now I'm dealing with all these swords, right? I don't want to quite stand up yet. I mean, I might trip over my own friggin' skirt if I stand up too fast and try to do too much, right? It's like, I'm just kind of, it said I'm in a pickle. It said I'm in a pickle. And it said, but are you? And that's where it's like, maybe she's not. Maybe she's not in as much of a pickle as she seemed, because it kind of just implied, like, just like a magician's assistant, she like she magically gets out of her bonds and it's just like, ta-da, like standing on a different side of the stage, right? Okay, nice. It was saying how this is all a show. It's not that it's like not truthful. It's not that it's not... There's a lot of doubt in here is what it is. There's a lot of doubt. There's a lot of self-doubt. I think between a lot of feminine energy, there's a lot of doubt of like the actions someone else might be taking. And then right now it just said, I see through you. It's like I see through you. So again, either two halves of yourself kind of seeing through to the other sides and really recognizing where you're stuck, why you're stuck, what's the issue here. Has something to do with this kind of like con man doubting energy, and also this like a little bit of pride of like, you know what, like I'm really good on my own and everything like that, right? But the truth is there's this half truth. It's just it just says sugar coated. There's some sugar coated truth here. Not everything is completely as it seems. I think that goes on both ways. And that's where it's like, so I'm just kind of not moving. Like, there's some funky vibes up in here. I'm not going to lie about that. I want to just get like 1 or 2 more cards just to kind of finish out this pile quickly. He's pointing out, though, the floor of the pentacle. Oh, wow, nice. I love that because it just turned October. Wow, yes, boo. Okay. So it just brought me the little scene from Sleepy Hollow, the Tim Burton film, when she has the pink chalk and Katrina draws out the symbol of protection. It's like the big star with the eye in the middle, and she passes out in the middle of it in the church. And of course, everyone's like, oh my gosh, she's a witch, she's evil. And she has to go, you know, just like cry the next day anyway and hang out. But it's actually like very much a protection symbol in that movie, and it does protect him, it protects her. So there's something there about that. It's like a lot of people look at it as something negative, but there's something very protective trying to come through on that message. So you're weighing out what is a con, what is just self-doubt, what is half-truth, and what is something to be proud of, where are your strengths and your beauty and your wisdom and etc. Here we go. King of Pentacles and Ace of Cups. Now, wow, such great movie references. It just gave me like the movie, oh god, which one is it? I think it's The Prestige or it's The Illusionist. It's one of those 2 titles. Anyway, it was just, no, I think it is The Prestige, because it was talking about like what happens under the stage, right? Like I said, this was like a show. This is the surface. These are the things that can be seen, that are going on, that can be immediately felt. This is some of the underlying stuff. Look at that sword pointing down. Look at that pentacle, and look who this is. It's a King of Pentacles. Ooh. Wow, what a message just came through. It was basically saying, like, you know, after the show, beyond the show, this is who I am. Someone who can be very solid and grounded, definitely wise with finances and home and security, like the most down-to-earth, solid person, right? Enjoys a bit of luxury and just like down home food, comforts, stuff like that. Look at this giant pentacle. Look, that's what I mean. It's very much like, okay, it's very much implying, now, look at that. Look how it twisted the words there now. It's saying how, when he's like, come stand underneath me. Why? What's underneath him? This awesome fireplace with all these books and this nice looking gentleman with a pipe and, right, like rugs. There's security and stability, and just like financial support, plenty of food, the nice things, like, okay. it's like not like this is a hairpiece. It's more like he's wearing like this like bald cap or something like that when he's in magician mode to like trick people, kind of to disguise him so that almost like how celebrities like hide their identity so that people don't harass them, like paparazzi don't harass them so much. That was what it was kind of like. And so then gave me a little more Gomez Adams vibes with like the hair and everything here, right? There's a lot of that. And then, which turns this into kind of like Wednesday or something like that. Wow, this is fun. This file's getting fun. Ace of Cups, though. Finishing this out. I mean, there's something really nice here. Wow, okay, that's what it was saying. Wow, oh, whoa, pile one. Look at this. It was saying how, it was like he was talking to her because she's got 9 pentacles. He's the king of pentacles. He notices her in her garden and her pentacles, right? That was kind of what it was saying. And it was like, you know what your garden needs? It needs a fountain. And this was very much implied that this was a gift. Like this was a gift that was given kind of between these two parties. So now it's kind of like picking back up. And that's where it implies like a tunnel under this 8 of Swords energy. Interesting little pile. There is some, when there's a will, there's a way. There's some tunneling under this 8 of Swords energy. So what can't move might not be able to move in that way. Doesn't mean it can't move this way. So this energy might need to transform just a bit. Might be extending and offering gifts to meet this energy over here, or vice versa, right? And together that equals the Ace of Cups, which is a really nice energy and like totally bypasses this 8 of Swords energy. Boom, there it is, pile one. Bypass the 8 of Swords energy. Get out of your head. Stop worrying about all this doubt and mixed up feelings and everything. I think that this is abundantly clear. And that's what it just said, like abundantly clear. With all of this balance brought into this reading, this is the message. Like, there's a lot of anxiety and doubt in your head. Let that stuff go. There isn't a bunch of twists and turns. This is a sign of protection. This is a sign of protection. There's a general good energy in here, but it was really confused at first, like super confused and very much convinced that there was a bunch of tricks and stuff going on. So I think that might help somebody out there understand, is you think that there's a bunch of tricky energy in the air, and that's actually, I think, all in your head. I think that's a lot of stress in your head, and it's not necessarily true. That's the half truth. That's the half lie. You're very much unsure of this, and you don't have to move at this time. Something's going to like tunnel and bypass, and I think you're going to naturally move around this at this time because you're good, you're solid, you're good on your own. So I said when it feels good and it feels right, like that's the time, right? Until then, you're in this energy having a hard time moving past that. This is a really nice way to finish off. So that's what I got for you, pile one. Let me know how that resonates for you guys. I will see you for the full moon, of course, in a couple of weeks with readings for all the zodiac signs. Like, share, comment, subscribe, donate. See you guys later. Bye. Hello, pile two. Hope you guys are doing great. Pile one had quite a reading, so let's get in and see how yours goes. I brought in the Steampunk Tarot because it's kind of gothic and it's October now. So we'll get there, and your goddess card is Persephone, and your spirit animal, which is more of the masculine energy to the feminine energy, is the crocodile. And being Libra, new moon, Libra season, we've got like the 2 and the 2 and the 2. All the feminine energies on this side, all the masculine energies on this side, they balance out. It wants me to point out these Boji Stones, which have like a slight magnetic kind of both attraction and repulsion to them, just like regular magnets. When you kind of like try to put them together and they don't quite want to go, it's like you can feel it a little bit. So there's that. A lot of these you meditate with them in both hands, and you rebalance your own feminine and masculine energies, because when those things are out of balance, then you're you know, just tipping one way or the other. We're talking about like the scales. So it's like you have to really work with both of those things, right? Everyone has both. So you have to work with both of those energies. It's like really enjoying holding these right now. And these are, I'm sorry, these are Boji Stones. Those are Moqui Marbles for rain fog, which is a trait of Mercury retrograde. So that's where it wants to kind of start in. This is Sam and Dean from Supernatural, Sam and Dean Winchester, even though this is like feminine, masculine. Again, like manifestation shaman stones. These are Boji stones. Moqui Marbles are the magnetic ones. And then I just have a garnet I found that I very much associate with my dad, because I found it when I was a little kid with him mining. And then this one, my mom loves garnet, so this one's just extra pretty and shiny. So there you go. Wanted me to explain all those crystals to you for some reason, so maybe you're checking those out. They're very earthy and grounding and rebalancing. We've got Persephone. It doesn't want me to read the back. Okay, so Persephone is a very deep maiden energy, very much when you're going through the dark night of the soul. This card instantly always points out the frame and the tear. And that's because, of course, the traditional interpretation of Persephone is that she is just taken to Hades and like usurped that way, right? Like just taken there, and she's kind of trapped there, and she ends up negotiating to get 6 months out of the underworld with her mother on Earth, and then always has to return back for another 6 months. So she represents like the seasons of time and cycles of life, and you know, when something dies off, like don't worry, time will turn and it will come back type deal. But it's very much just an imprisonment. It's very much like imprisonment. And that's where a lot of people have chosen to reinterpret the Persephone story to be a love story, that she chose to stay in the underworld, and eventually she does become happy. But the real story of it is like, no, she was just kind of like taken there, right? So, woo. Okay, well, it wants to talk about the word rape, because it says there's like statues called the Rape of Persephone. There's a whole bunch of other ones too. It's not just the Persephone story. There's like other Greek and Roman mythologies. But that word actually means to take, right? Like to take something from somebody, to take someone somewhere else. Anytime you are taking something, and especially in the form of just taking women away from a village to take back to your homeland kind of deal, right? That kind of stuff. That's what's coming through here. So that's what I mean. It's very much like she was taken. Woo! It just gave me Liam Neeson and that movie Taken. And it just gave me the whole thing of like, I have my special set of skills. I will hunt you down. I will find you. Like that. Wow. Deep energy coming off of that right there. Very deep emotional energy. That story is really deep. It just got me thinking about all the themes of that movie, everything that you see there. There's really deep feminine energy here, instead of feeling at a loss. And there's this crocodile over here looking like really laid back and sly and kind of sneaky. There's also, ooh, nice, there's also these 3 monkeys up here, and it just reminded me of like, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. There's also some human faces peeking out back here, and this weird little hand over here. There's some funky stuff in this card. Very mysterious. The crocodile represents opportunity, risk, fertility, and life. Alligators and crocodiles are creatures of the water, particularly Feacon's swampland, which suggests both fertility and the feminine principle of life and birth. They have often been associated with dragons, which appear in myths and legend as wily guardians of treasures and keepers of wisdom. Stories that have revolved around encounters with these reptiles have often involved a new opportunity, but one that always carries significant risks. It's giving me something to hang on. So, as with many mythological reptiles, the crocodile in this painting appears wise, menacing, and somewhat indolent. Honestly, y'all, it just gave me like all the little fairy tales of princesses trapped in towers, trapped by dragons. It really pulled the dragon reference out of here for me, which I love dragons, but there is a aspect of dragon symbolism which implies that they are guarding, hoarding, protecting something, and we do have a lot of fairy tales about women being protected by dragons, and right, you gotta face the dragon. The dragon always represents ego. The dragon always represents some of those darker aspects of life, like a devil energy at times. There can be a lot of wisdom in it. It's a very ancient wisdom because these are reptiles that were like basically dinosaurs, right? That's where it's got really old adages like the see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil. This hand was referencing like the hand of God that you see in a lot of art history paintings, like this mysterious hand that's just like floating out of the painting, right? It knows some of the mysteries and secrets of life. They're very much showing this like shape-shifting, and that's what, okay, just give me like shape-shifting energy, and that's what makes the dragon hard to face, because it's like a shape-shifting energy, and that's where it might be coming through more as crocodiles right now. It said, but make no mistake, this is a dragon. Woo. It said, make no mistake, this is a dragon. What is this? All right, interesting. Like, this pile's feeling really deep, not gonna lie. So we got either women guarded by dragons, or we got just like crocodile kind of dragon symbolism. We got this conversation over here about like being taken. All right. Three of Cups. It's usually a pretty joyful energy. It's talking about like when you get together with your girlfriends and you all talking, and how everyone has a slightly different perspective on things, but you value everyone's opinion. Like, it's very much suggesting time with friends and conversations about some of these deeper topics might be necessary. For some people, that's either like therapy or something like that. For other people, that is literally like getting together and hanging out and talking with friends, especially a set of similar emotion, like so other women or men or whoever like yourself. The feminine energy for sure is feeling like bottled up, and it wants to get out and socialize. It's not so much about the socializing aspect though, as much as it is like definitely getting out of this box and mingling. Love this crystal ball down here, and there's a bottle of wine and like a fan and everything. It said they intend to stay a while. So that's where it's like, to like make yourself comfortable. You're not, the energy is not comfortable over here in this. This is a much friendlier environment. Much friendlier environment is what it's kind of saying there. So you're very much in need of a much friendlier environment, one that has like camaraderie and sharing and talking, and just people that kind of get your point of view, your perspective, your angle on things. For some reason it said, what's up, y'all? Okay, it's talking about like a party, which it was kind of mentioning how someone invited me to do tarot for like their Halloween party. So there's a little bit of that, and that's where it's like those crystal balls coming out. I've been very much paying attention to these things. So there's definitely an emphasis on, I would say, even though this reading's for the new moon, I would say the full moon, which is pretty close to Halloween. It's got a lot of psychic energy, lots of feminine energy. But it's very much pointing out these crystal balls, and that's where we're talking about divination through scrying. You look into the crystal ball and whatever forms or shadows or shapes and things that you see as your first impression, those are kind of those, you know, what you see in the crystal ball, what's coming to you kind of deal. And a very psychic energy. She's like, come sit down at my table. Because that's the whole thing. It's like she got invited to this party. So when you invite this fourth energy in, actually, that's this high priestess energy, which is very psychic and very tapped in. It's like they're not, okay, these folks aren't quite using the crystal ball. It's like they're waiting on her to show up. And that's where part of it is, part of it in this reading is like waiting on the divine energy, divine feminine energy to show up to get out of this box. And that's where it's giving me this triple goddess vibe. You have to get nurtured. Okay, I'm really, whoever this could be just one person, but definitely with this feminine energy over here, like, you got to tap into some triple goddess energy. There are different aspects of yourself. All of them have their valid perspectives, but what we are really waiting on is that, ma'am, what we are really waiting on is for this priestess to show up, okay? Well, where is this lady at? This lady is spunky and funky and weird, and she owns it, and she will whip out them tarot cards and tell you about yourself in a heartbeat. She can see into that crystal ball. She's going to tell you what's up. And it's talking very much about how she owns it. It's talking about her hand on the crystal ball. Like, she owns it. Like, she owns her skills. She owns her prophecy. She owns her power. She owns her very fierce femininity. She owns her weirdness and her quirkiness. And it's just very much about some self-empowerment right here. Ooh, it just said, I figured out how these gears turn. Whoa, it said, I figured out how these gears turn. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it just said mucho empowerment. I don't know why it said it. It said mucho empowerment. You're waiting on her to show up. It's feeling like a 1, 2, 3 step thing so far. Like sad, lonely, boxed in energy. Got out, got to like kind of get your head clear and everything. And somehow in the middle of it all, like, by the way, I showed up for myself is what it's saying. I showed up for myself and I'm going to own all of this. You are that high priestess energy. What's this over here? Got a King of Wands. Wow, what a song. Okay, song just came through. It gave me The Devil Went Down to Georgia. I was talking about how this is a dragon or devil type energy, right? And where it jumped in at is it said, now sit down in that chair right there. Let me show you how it's done. That song's definitely going to be on the playlist here. And I'm sorry if y'all, I haven't been updating the playlist as often as I should have because I've been just like a busy person. But definitely going to put the Charlie Daniels Devil Went Down to Georgia song on the playlist, so you can go check that one out. And it's funny because I live in Georgia, so this is definitely talking about like a personal reference for you. That's what I'm saying. This crocodile, this dragon energy over here, it does know a lot of things in life, but it's very sneaky. It knows the basic principles and it kind of knows how to twist and manipulate them a little bit. But that's where you said, like, what card you gonna play? The card you're going to play is, I think you're about to show this dragon, ego, devil energy up. Because that's the whole thing. The song's about the devil making a bet with this boy named Johnny that he could play a better fiddle than him. Because he's got a fiddle of gold, and Johnny's like, yeah, okay. And so the devil has like a whole band of demons. Look, got a whole band of demons that joins in with him. And he plays his song, and he's got all the dark magic on his side. And it's Johnny with his regular old fiddle and everything. Look, that's like the bow, the wand of the fiddle, right? And he says, sit down in that chair right there. Let me show you how it's done. And that's because he's humble enough, yet empowered enough to go out there and play good enough to beat the devil, right? That is the energy coming off this King of Wands. Like being confident in your skills, but not being devilishly confident. Being certain and using your skills in a powerful way, not using like dark magic or demons or like all this stuff, or your band of people around you to like protect you and everything. I don't know why it's not like tapping back into some of the other messages that were coming off here yet. So I am going to pull some more cards just to kind of round out whatever this is. You're definitely, it's a like face down, you're facing down, you're like fiddle dance song battling this crocodile kind of devil energy out of your life. And that's the thing, like once that battle is over in that song, Johnny gets to keep his soul, gets to keep the fiddle of gold, and the devil goes on his way. So you get, said win-win, you get both things, right? That's where it's offering you this throne. Ooh, it's offering you this throne. That's a lot of cards. I don't want to do all that. It's offering you this throne. It's saying, like, you can have this golden throne once you get past this devil energy. Whatever this, like, golden throne can kind of represent for you. It's at least getting a seat. Getting to take a rest or something. So getting to own yourself is what it is. Like getting to own yourself. Because the devil was going to take his soul. Woo, my right ear is ringing on that. That's what I'm saying. Getting to own yourself. Alright, let's do 2. Check my recording. Yeah. 7 of Pentacles. Nice 4 of Wands. You definitely will come out victorious, celebrating. Preparations are in play to celebrate getting this, owning yourself. That's what I mean. If you were like taken, you were going through some stuff, now you want to own yourself, right? 7 of Pentacles, there's something up for review, taking stock and inventory, counting your blessings, being thankful and grateful for everything that is yours, that you do have, that is within your control. Ooh, it was pointing out these yellow blossoms right here because they remind me of my pumpkin blossoms. So hopefully I do have pumpkins soon for fall. So that's what I mean. There's a bit of that. Kind of like getting in touch with your home, the things that you have, what's around you, the things that bring you joy and happiness. Ooh, a little bit of like Peter Pan energy just came in, just in the fact that it said like think happy thoughts and they lift you into the air and put you up into this high priestess mode. So when you start to sink down, you got to start counting your blessings and thinking of the happy thoughts. The real world happy things that you can see and are tangible, things that you can really count on, and that will lift you into the air and empower you. If you prepare to succeed and celebrate owning yourself, owning your own worth, rising up from like captivity in a sense and facing down this energy, then go ahead and prepare for it, because that's the whole thing. It's like a lot of times that's what sets the energy in motion and gets everything going so that you are in the right vibe for this. It's just you can't trip over yourself. You got to stay humble enough and down to earth enough. She's got a step stool to help her. She's not climbing up some ginormous ladder and making a big deal. This is a nice garland and some ribbons, but it's not like a whole entire fanfare thing yet, right? There's some fruit and some bounty, but there's not like a feast yet. We're kind of like setting up for a little small get-together celebration of some sort, but this always represents unity, things coming together. So I definitely think that like whatever this energy is, like it's going to be very celebratory and happy once you complete it. Once you empower yourself, once you literally like fiddle battle this energy. They're not alone. They have a little band of friends or demons or people, like some kind of support system. It just said narcissist in a sense. They have like some kind of support system around them that is not necessarily encouraging their energy, but not necessarily like saying that some things that they might be, it just said casting in your direction. They're not saying like, hey, don't do that, or like, that's wrong, or they just kind of like, that's a dragon energy. It's like, this is what I'm doing, or this is my little treasure castle and everything that I rule. This is the girl, the symbolic girl, or something that I took, the innocence that I took and everything. This is mine. And I don't really think that whoever's in this reading wants to be like possessed in that way. It's very much like, I need some friends and some quality time and some new perspective, because I can get really down about all of this. I feel imprisoned and trapped. I need to count my blessings, it said, every day, so that I can stay happy. But it really did say, like, we waiting on the high priestess to show up. It said because, it said because her thoughts and words matter. Her predictions and words and everything matters. So, and her empowerment matters. What does she foresee? She foresees a lot of celebration and happiness if you prepare for those things, if you confidently prepare for those things and stay humble enough to kind of like just be ready for it. Because there's very much this energy over here kind of looming around. It involves a new opportunity, but one that always carries significant risk. Right, you can win the fiddle of gold. You can win ownership of your own soul, sovereignty in a way. You can sit on your own throne, but only if you face down that devil energy, which is ego, or anything that is like, you know, tempting you into greed or lust or whatever, like you want to label it as, right? New opportunity. Not a good opportunity for you. You can win something out of it and be successful, but you got to empower yourself. And that's what I got for you. Let me know how that resonates for you, pile 2, and I will see you guys on the next batch for the full moon. Thank you. Hello, pile 3, last pile, last but not least. Welcome to your reading. So let's get started. I brought in the Steampunk Tarot because it's close to Halloween and feels a little gothic. And we've got a feminine goddess energy and we've got a masculine animal spirit energy. So you have Venus. Venus is the Roman goddess of grace and love, called Aphrodite by the Greeks. She evolved from an early Italian nature goddess, a bringer of spring blooms and vines, a goddess of growth and the beauty of nature. The goddess of desire, Venus was the irresistible personification of both physical and spiritual love. She gave her name to the second planet of dawn and dusk, as did her sister goddesses Inanna and Ishtar. The story of Venus's birth tells how she arose naked from the sea, the source of all life, and a symbol of both the collective unconscious and eternity. It is a wonderful image for the emergence of a young woman into her full femininity. Venus is a striking affirmation of the love of beauty and the pleasures of the senses. Risen from the sea, she is a guide through both the stormy and calm waters of our physical desires and emotions. Awesome, awesome. I think Venus is in Scorpio right now. I think. It's not really tying into that. So we got Venus, and then we got the Raven. Represents creation, magic, and illumination. The raven is frequently associated with powerful magic and omens. Its symbolism parallels that of the coyote and the rabbit in Native American myths, and it is worshipped as a deity. The Haida and Tlingit peoples of Western Canada and Alaska revered the raven as a hero and helper of human beings, a role reflected in the bird's prominent position in the totems of the Northwest. The raven is believed to have placed the sun, moon, and stars in the sky, bringing light to the people both day and night. So it's definitely, yeah, I was going to say definitely about omens. I always pay attention to the ravens, the crows outside. It's supposed to be a helper. Much gentler energy here than I feel like for my other two piles so far. They were a little intense. All right. Okay, it instantly was implying that this light coming out of this staff here was like the light of Venus, like the planet Venus, so the light of love, right? Guiding her. With this Ten of Wands, there's a lot of burden and responsibility on her back, so she has to have this kind of spiritual love energy to guide her path because it's very heavy for her otherwise. There's definitely an implication here, and there's tarot cards like flying around at her feet. So looking at the past, looking at the present. There's one that's not turned up, looking at the future, right? She has to be guided by this light on this path going forward because everything she's carrying is all equally important and really heavy, and it's the only way that she can see straight. It just says the only way she can see straight. So has to be walking in alignment with where this light is pointing her to. So it's simply saying that you have to, even when it gets hard, right? Like your decisions have to be made out of love because that is the best way to move forward. And it's not just, it's explained, this is very much like Venus energy talking here. It's not just like a simplistic form of love. It's not what some people pass off as love these days. We're talking about like a universal planetary core energy of love. Okay, it said deep love. Like this is a deep love. This is not anything superficial. This is, it's very much talking about like all those alignments and like cosmic energy, big powerful energies. But it says she got a lot going on, is what it just said. Like there's a lot on her back. There's a lot on her plate. There's a lot. She's got her head kind of down, like she's just carrying all of this. And having to have a lot of faith in that this light's going to carry her in the right direction. What's this? Okay, so with this Ace of Swords, someone was just saying speech, 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 which is the very beginning of Lord of the Rings movie. Okay, just gave it to me as Sting, the sword that glows blue when orcs are nearby, and it's glowing blue, so it's saying that there's orcs nearby. That's what it's saying. It's saying there's danger nearby. So, okay. So it was giving me where they were saying speech, speech. They're asking Bilbo for a speech. And it's his 111th birthday, right? And he does give a speech. And his speech is overall like, yeah, some of you guys aren't so great. Some of you guys are great. P.S. by the way, I'm really old. I'm really starting to feel my age, and y'all don't know why because I've had this magic ring forever. P.S. I'm gonna slip it on and literally invisibly disappear. Deuces, bye. And slips off. And it leads to everyone else's entire adventure. He originally had the blue sword that glows when orcs are nearby, and then of course passing it on, Frodo gets it later. This is very much just saying someone's waiting on a speech. It feels both like a celebration and a moment of, like I said, significance. It's also just implying like a passing of time, like age, birthdays, There's a lot of weight on her back. There's a lot of time and things that have passed to consider. Maybe she ain't had time for a speech because she's carrying everything, kind of, right? Also, okay, whoop, there it went. So if it is this energy here, it's also saying like this number one isn't speaking because there's a lot on their back. Number two isn't speaking because kind of like spider senses tingling, like blue flame. It said blue flame. It said blue flame. Blue flame glowing, indicating, yo, there's like some danger nearby. Like, So it was asking for a speech, but that's the thing, is like it's very much bringing me the moment where Bilbo disappears and goes invisible. So that's where the whole, it's kind of saying like truth and clarity. Sorry, pile 3, my phone storage got full, so I had to clear some stuff off real quick. So I literally just finished saying that the sword is like truth and clarity coming through. So the reason why someone or something went invisible and disappeared, or why it didn't speak or whatever, right, at this event, at this occasion, is because there's a heavy weight, it said, on their plate. And it said their senses are going off, and there's like danger, high voltage, electricity, steam, smoke, like there's it's all going off, and that's the truth and clarity that's coming through right here. So I said, ready to go on an adventure? What's up with this over here? Y'all, look at that. And this ties up very much to a Mercury retrograde pick-a-pile that I had on my Instagram channel. If you're not following me on Instagram too, I do like little short readings and other kinds of posts over there, so you can follow along. This is the World card, and like, y'all, look at that upgrade. Look at that upgrade. That is just like world domination. She's got 2 scepters in her hands. I said magic elf shoes. It's very much giving it to me as if, almost like literally she's carrying both of these. That staff right there of love that is lighting the way forward. Very much this gold energy that's picking back up over here. Very much, and especially with the green, that's tied to the heart chakra. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like masterfully embodying that radiant Venus energy. Look how much the colors are like kind of tying up over here. I'm telling you. It said Venus incarnate. Like, she embodying that energy, yo. But it's also saying like this sword, like she picks up this sword, which is truth and clarity and speech and communication. And she's going to rule with both of those things, right? Is it love and light, and kind of like speech or fight or something like that, right? Love and light, fight or flight. That's what it is. Love and light, fight or flight. Kind of, there's like, right, you have to rule and balance with both. That's what gives you this major completion and major clarity, because this is the World card. So this is just like, it said, like, it's always a major end and a major beginning, major completion cycle. Ooh, it's pointing out the wings on her helmet. Like, yes, super connected to the divine. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, you can hear my child like in the bathroom, I guess, choking or something. So, wings on her helmet, just doing really great there. Oh no, he's of course brushing his teeth right in the bathroom behind me while I'm trying to do this reading, of course. All right. Major completion. And look at that black raven hair right there. It's kind of talking a little bit about having to embody some of your shadow or darker qualities in order to embrace this completion, because this energy is a little meek over here and carrying a lot of burden, and it's not balanced until it picks up the sword. And the sword is like communication, direct clarity and truth. But I think in the middle, in between this right now, what's holding this off is we got smoke, we got high voltage, we got danger, we got trouble, we got that kind of stuff going on, right? That's the situation. Let's get 2 more cards, just like on my other decks. Let's get 2 more cards to finish rounding this out. Temperance, 4 swords. This one said it's just a matter of time. There's literally an hourglass here, and these swords are right here. This person's taking a nap and resting. And look, there's the raven. There's the raven. This is literally like, this is just a matter of time. Ooh, it just gave this to me too as Raven from Team Titans. So I mean, self-empowerment, embodying some of that darker energy to really achieve something. In the meantime, it is literally taking a nap, chilling, and resting because it just knows like all of this is going to happen and come down. It does see the omens. Whatever, like the omens are being recognized and seen. We know that the hourglass is running out of time. So like, again, with this trudging forward, possibly in silence, no communications or clarity at first. There's a lot being balanced with this temperance card here. 1 foot in one world, 1 foot in the other, 1 hand on this side, 1 hand on the other, making things that seem really ordinary into something really extraordinary. It's kind of like with the push of a button, drop of a hat. A little bit of a magician energy. That's why this is like angel wings and stuff. It's like there's a little bit of kind of like some magic involved in it, but there is a lot of being grounded in reality. So there is some spiritual connection there, but overall, saying like some miracles, like trudging, we're trying to work on some miracles too, both being a person that can kind of quote unquote make those things happen. Like I'm trying to make miracles happen, right? That's what it just said. I'm trying to make miracles happen. So moving down to this energy, moving up into this energy. My hands are kind of full. My back, it said my back is aching, my bra's too tiny. Your hands are full, your back's aching, all that stuff. You got some spidey senses tingling, and there's some like smoke in the air, danger going off. All this stuff gonna eventually, like sword of truth, clarity. And it was saying blue flame because that's related to the third eye, and that's prophecy and clarity and like insight. So eventually that's all going to like become very, very clear. Right now it's just like the senses are tingling and we can sense these things. And it said, and why stress about this stuff in the meantime? Because I'm just going to kick back and rest. Like I see all these signs, I see all these omens and warnings and everything, but it's almost like it's not a warning. So it's the warning system, but it's like not raising an alarm because number one, exhausted, tired, need to rest, but also kind of like how a butterfly crawls out of a cocoon. It's like I need to go into my little shell and rest and meditate. I see all y'all. I see all this. I see all y'all. I see all these omens and everything. Like I got it. But first, we're gonna take a nap. And when we wake up, we will have transformed into this magnificent butterfly of this world card, in a sense, this magnificent Venus goddess who is like very firm, stern energy because it's balanced with not only this kind of like love and light, it's very much this like fight or flight, truth and wisdom energy. Look at all this balance happening in here. So they're just taking a nap, dude. So they're just taking a nap because there's a lot going on. But that's the truth and clarity here, is that something's in the air, something's up. It's not stressing them out right now because they know this is all coming. They know this is coming. So they're chilling and building up their strength, essentially, is what it's saying. And that's what I got for you, pile 3. Let me know how that resonates for you. Thanks for hanging in there, even though my phone got full. That's what I mean. They got to take a nap. They got to offload some energy, right? You got to take a break. That's totally here in this pile. And that's what I got for you, pile 3. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and donate as you see fit. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank you.